when one arm or the other two arms are subservient to the other arm, then it makes democracy very uninteresting. It makes it not what it should be.
But for example, the project is not going for me. When I became minister, I told them I gave 100 million naira for the example. No problem.
Parliament is so that flexible concept democracy, therefore, all attempts to make to guide and guard is independent.
People having opportunity, but not making the best use of it.
Our own democracy is African democracy. Let us work together as a family.
We want to look forward to a country where the infrastructure plays an working function.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm an adventurous person. So when I graduated as a medical doctor from the University of Lagos, pioneer, I felt I should go for a postgraduate in the United Kingdom. And I was there and completed what I would say in a record time. I came back to Nigeria in 1972 with the MRCP, membership of the Royal College of Physicians, and I worked with initially with ABU, then later the state government. I grew up, the profession and my rate of progression in the system went very rapidly to the extent that I became the chief medical officer of the state and also a consultant, physician, senior consultant, and chief consultant, physician. To the extent that after that, I was also appointed a permanent secretary because, as you know, we are very few in the north in my state at that time. Really, when you are a permanent secretary in your ministry, in a government, unless you are appointed a head of service, you have nothing more to do. So I was there quite all right, satisfied working. Suddenly politics came, and General Babangida, former military president, came in, and I was there, so I found myself in politics.
Right.
That was in 1990. I found myself in politics. Also, so we were struggling to form political parties, which were more or less cancelled by the IBB or by the government, and many attempts came until finally the people came together to form a party, which is the PDP, and I found myself there. As one of the founding members.
Let's look at that very closely. Your membership of the PDP. Early last year, you did say that the PDP market in Nigeria's politics is over, and no sensible man will remain in a market that has closed shop. How did you...
Well, but it's still true. The PDP came on board. It was an excellent party. It did reasonably well initially, but later it began to fumble. It fumbled, a lot of corruption, a lot of, I say, there was no internal democracy in the party. That happened with me, for instance. I got my primary to contest for the third term in my state. But the party took my ticket and gave it to the then governor of Kaduna State. And it's just fortunate that people seem to respect me, and the then President Umar Musa Yar'Adua appointed me as the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom. But right from then, 2007, it lost its orientation. And because there was a lot of corruption, So when I came back from the UK, I found the situation was even worse before I came back. Before I left. So I left. I left the party. That's the reason for my statement.
Let's look at the genesis of the problem. Some trace it back to 2003, when the party structure was handed over to the governors.
Well, everybody has his own reason. There are several reasons. It's not right from the word go. Yeah, right from the word go. Right. The governors were powerful, and up till now, the governors seem to be very powerful, because whoever is the president seems to depend on them for his performance and for him to come back second term. This is just the problem. This is just the problem. Though I could see Buhari is beginning to check them, but I'm not very sure if that will succeed. I'm not very sure. It will be left for too long. There are many reasons, apart from the fact that the presidents felt the pillars of the party, because they fund the party at the state level. Of course, again, they had the resources to stop anybody from going back to the National Assembly or even to State Assembly. I gave you my own example. So that's just that.
The question on the lips of observers is there still a future for the PDP?
Well, we hope so. A large part, most of the PDP people are not so good. And even in APC that is new, you still have, not so many good people there. So we just watching, waiting and watching until we finally decide.
Let's have your thoughts on the recent appeal court ruling.
It is likely to be so, because supposing Magari's group appealed to Supreme Court, they didn't get the positive response or positive result they expected. I'm sure most of them are going to leave PDP. Now, if it is McCarthy's group that is given the party, again, many of them from Ali Mahdi Sharif group will also leave. Even many are leaving, hundreds if not thousands of PDP people are leaving. And it will be a bit too late. When a party is not in government, and right now I think they have just less than one third of the governors. It's difficult for them to perform. I'm beginning to see the tide turning even in the southeast. People are changing. And very soon the only governor in the southwest,
That's Ekiti.
Ekiti, when he finishes, APC may win. So it's a full takeover. What will the party do? This is just that. But not that I want PDP to disintegrate, no. But it is already beginning. Well, Nigerians generally, all of us, whether Ali Mahdi Sharif or Makarpi or whoever, when we are holding to something, we think it's like for life or death. We don't give in. So people have made politics to be a career, a business. Politics should not be considered as a business. You should have something to do. You just come in as a part-time to do politics. And if it is not good for you, you pack your things and go. There are some careerists called politicians. They are the ones, and whether there is PDP, APC, they will continue to be politicians, and they continue to be the opposition to government. That is also good. It's good to have opposition. But the type of opposition, again, we have, whether from PDP, is not the type of politics I want to see. Too personalized. Politics, opposition that is targeted to the president. The president is the president of Nigeria. Political activities are over. We wait for 2019. Now, the president should be encouraged to perform, to build a virile country and perform and try to recover the looted funds. In those areas, he's doing well, I think. He's doing well. Rather than to be fighting or describing him. A president is sick. They say he's already dead. I've never seen anything like this except in Nigeria. Opposition means fighting to death. Apart from that, it's totally unnecessary. We should pray for our leaders, not just the president. Even others elected and others appointed, their own leaders, should pray for them. When they finish, of course, we call them to account. But that's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Senator Tafida, let me ask you to tell us how healthy is it for a democracy that has no viable opposition, as things are right now in Nigeria?
Not healthy, certainly, in the sense that it is also the fault of the politicians. If only they can move to healthy opposition, like this whistleblowing on misdemeanors of certain public officials, is an opposition. or you criticize certain actions taken. But actions that to everybody is not good. And that is opposition. But I don't know. But we should, that's why I say people should not go into politics for the sake of making money. You go into politics in order to perform, to do things for people, the ordinary people. And you can do that by serious opposition, criticizing government for what it is doing or what it is not doing, not personalities.
Do you see in the near future the emergence of a new mega party?
It is possible, because I still believe that PDP will not make it. I'm not very sure. I think because the disagreement, the rancor is so much that it's difficult for them to sit together again and start talking. I saw that as soon as I came back from my UK assignment. That's why I didn't want the roof to collapse on me.
Yeah. Well, can you do a quick assessment of 16 years of the PDP in government? How do you think your party performed at that time?
Yes, I will give you fair assessment, because I was there. Even if I was not in Nigeria, I was somewhere and I was monitoring things. The first term, 1999 to 2003, PDP and the government itself, federal government, was waffling, fighting. The National Assembly and the President were fighting each other. The President would abuse the National Assembly even outside, and so on and so on. They were all thieves, were this and so on. But after that first term, 4 years, Obasanjo realized he wasn't performing. Most of what President Obasanjo did was during the second term. He brought in several bills that were relevant to the development of Nigeria, economic development. Most of these things are in operation now. Then, of course, we related with him as well as he was relating with us. He realized he just couldn't perform without the National Assembly. And he did very well. Those 4 years, he did very well. Believe you me, that was why I wanted to go back the third time. But it was impossible. Then the impunity of the party came in. The party, of course, and the PDP, the PDP and the government were one of the same thing. The party and the government were just doing what they liked. And the standard began to deteriorate. People began to steal and so on. The real stealing came to a fore as from 2011. Real peak. You couldn't stop a minister from, if he's come from the area that he couldn't be challenged. You couldn't challenge a minister. The president could not challenge a minister or even call a minister to order. The president, the person who appointed the minister, could not bring him or her to order. And things began to go to pieces. And believe you me, by the time, well, of course, I saw it coming. I saw it coming. The white people in the UK will come to gossip with me and say, oh, you know, it's terrible in Nigeria. You can't get anything done, you know, unless you pay your way in, and so on and so on and so on. They will come and tell you. Of course, they were also part and parcel of the corruption. But again, everybody wanted to make money as quickly as possible, like the world was coming to an end. And we didn't do much. Yar'Adua, when he came, he took over from OBJ. He started well. He did very well, actually, because he had a plan. He's an intelligent person. He wanted really to, he's a politician. He wanted to really recraft Nigeria and work along the OBJ lines that were started. But of course, he wasn't well. So the thing came to an end. And as soon as he died, it's a matter of, you know, it's terrible. Actually, terrible. Maybe you are aware that I was the DG for Jonathan Sambo campaign. I left the UK to come here in 2010, October. We finished a successful election in 2011. Because I saw the thing, the meaning of leadership is not the one I know. That if you are president, you are everything. Nobody could talk to you. Nobody can, unless he is a member of your tribe. I made up my mind that I was not going to take any position. I was satisfied with that one in London that President Yar'Adua gave me. And I said I wanted to go back to London. I went back to London quietly, watch him. And believe me, the amount of money looted, so to say, not even looted, if it is stealing, maybe there is some intelligence way of doing it, looted by the government then was terrible, huge. And we're beginning to see them. What we have seen is just a tip on the iceberg. It's just a beginning. We only have to pray for Buhari to get well so that this issue can continue. We can see, you will be shocked. And you continue to pray for Buhari to come back so that at least we can see this huge amount of money stolen. And we had a government. When this money was stolen, we had a government. I hope you understand what I'm saying. We had a government. How on earth can you talk of leadership and party and so on? The party was part of it. The government was part of it. So it's just a pity. Now Buhari is back. To me, he started well. He's sick though. I believe he means well. He promised 3 major things, and he's working on them. He promised security and fight, in particular the fight to conquer Boko Haram. I think to a large extent I will give him 85 to 90% on that. he promised to fight corruption. He's fighting it. He has a long way to go. These people who are being exposed are the one fighting him. And I will not be surprised if they are part and parcel of his sickness. Now in the UK, he was warned anyway. He was warned not to be too free, not to think that he's untouchable. It's not a military regime. It's a civil regime. If you shield yourself too much, they say, oh, you are now a military man, come back, you say you are a soldier. Or you are a civilian politician. If you open yourself too much, again they kill you. So we just pray for him to come back. And I'm sure he will do much, much better than the previous government.
How do you see in the near future the emergence of a new mega party?
It is possible, because I still believe that PDP will not make it. I'm not very sure. I think because the disagreement, the rancor is so much that it's difficult for them to sit together again.
Let me ask you to quickly, as we move on, look at the 2015 elections. And for the very first time in the history of this country, a sitting president lost an election. What do you think went wrong?
Well, I have given you part of some of the reasons. The stealing, the corruption, the dishonesty was massive. People knew about it. Massive. And people were dissatisfied with the way things were going. That's one.
How do you react to the school of thought that believes this fight against corruption by this government is selective?
I hear that, but I also reacted. I said something about that in the media. Of course, you are from the South, you might not have heard. Most of the interviews or comments I made are usually in the vernacular for people to know. It will appear to be selective, but it will not be, because there was no APC government that was part and parcel of looting. Anybody who would have been captured for stealing must have been a PDP man.
Well, the argument is that some of those in the PDP at that time are now in the APC holding key positions with allegations of corruption leveled against them.
But you see, we are, as we say, rule of law. We operate the rule of law in this country. If somebody was in PDP and he was considered to be corrupt by the time he left the PDP, you have the liberty, the power to go to court and challenge it. And we have also a whistleblowing thing. You know, the president has given you the power to go and blow your whistle. If it is discovered to be correct, you will even get a present. So what is the problem there? We should not be lazy to take up the opportunity given to us by government. If we say somebody was corrupt when he was in PDP, but now he's being left alone because he is in APC, we should blow the whistle and ultimately find ourselves in court. That's just that. Blow the whistle. Blow your whistle. You have been given the opportunity. Why should you complain? But even by sheer mathematical argument, you may get 1 or 2 or 3 APC people. that have been, which is true, they have been captured. One of the closest person to the president, one of the former governors in Kano, was discovered to have collected money, and he was asked to return it immediately, and he returned the money, and a number of things, as you know.
Let me ask you to quickly, as we move on, look at the 2015 elections. And for the very first time in the history of this country, a sitting president lost an election. What do you think went wrong?
Well, I have given you part of some of the reasons. The stealing, the corruption, the dishonesty was massive. People knew about it. Massive. And people were dissatisfied with the way things were going. That's one. Secondly, another area that contributed to the fall of President Jonathan was the system of election, whereby the use of card reader and so on was brought in. So only genuine voters would actually vote. There was no use for you to register, to go and register 3, 4, 5, 10 times. You can only add to the numbers of people who did not turn up to vote. So people, all those double or triple registration were weeded, and only genuine people were allowed to vote. Thirdly, the campaign itself, maybe people will say, oh, I'm saying this because I was not the Director General of the campaign, but there was nothing in the campaign other than abusive, ridiculous. Buhari was the topic. They say he, as a military man, he will kill you. When he comes, he will do this thing. You open most of the government televisions or radios, it's all about that. That's not how to campaign. Say what you want to do to people, which is different from what you are doing. Say it. Or say why you will make some improvement, not abusing somebody. And the abuse did not always go to the president, the candidate, the presidential candidate. It also went to the whole North. You heard it. They say the wife of the president then said the president built Almajiri schools all over for us, because we only go on delivering children, countless number of children. And the president is a good man. He has built Almajiri schools for us, and we should thank him and vote for him. Again, he will build more schools. So how do you look at a whole mighty North and say we're all beggars? We are all nothing but beggars, and that we are dependent on the government to build Almajiri schools for our people. That's an insult. And this lady went on saying that everywhere as an expert in campaign, and many other reasons. And of course, the naked, flagrant stealing of public property. That was also there. It was there. We knew it was going on. But you dare not go and tell the president, the lady, untouchable lady in the petroleum industry. You dare not. Nobody, even the coordinating Minister of the Economy, and goes, who did not have the gut to go and tell the president certain things she knew about the minister, her colleague. But she was powerful. Even in council, when they're meeting, she would just pick her bag and this is your. She would just walk out that she had an assignment. Even if she had taken excuse from the president, she should let other colleagues know that she is taking an excuse to get out of the council. She would just pack and take and go. That's not a government that Nigerians would want to see. That's why the government failed.
Let's look at some of the issues on leadership in Nigeria. Observers look at this country with so much resources, so much abundance in human and material resources, but little to show for it. The conclusion is that there is a problem with leadership. How do you react to this? What is wrong with leadership in this country?
Well, we have always said so. We had this issue of leadership even from Tafawa Balewa, when we didn't have much. We didn't have petroleum at that time. We had that one continuously during the military and so on. Even the military who overthrow civil authority do so for ineffective, poor leadership. And when they come, they are worse. The issue is that leadership is not, it all depends on the person, your own training, your upbringing as a person at home and in the school. If you are taught the rudiments of leadership, you come. Those leaderships you will work hard. Don't go in for the sake of being counted to be somebody who has become a president. Don't go in for an election because you want to steal or enrich your tribe or your kinsman. You should go in because you have something, a vision, and you have the health, the strength to perform. I believe this country can be run better, personally. But I will not, I'm not in a position to mention names or mention, but I'm only telling you that a person that can run this country the best way possible is somebody, you must have a tribe, but when you are a leader, forget about your tribes, your friends and so on. Just work. Be fair to everybody. And of course there must be the rudiments of knowledge. You must have basic education and so on. You must have the rudiments of knowing that stealing is a bad thing. You must have the rudiments of knowing that telling lies is a bad thing. These are basic. And if anybody who has these basic things truly go into government,
right,
will make a good president. I don't believe what we Nigerians also, in most cases why we talk of poor leadership, are mostly responsible. A president who does not surround himself with people around him, they eat together, they gossip, they tell him what they want, he takes it in and he puts it as part of his program, is not a good president according to the people. If you can't walk into the president, You were friends before. Now he's a president, he doesn't call you like before, or he doesn't even talk about you like before. He is not a good president. That's we Nigerians. Or if I have helped the president before, I gave him some money when he needed it, and now he doesn't talk about me, he doesn't pay me back, he's not a good president. It's all part of our problem, we Nigerians. And this is a major part of it, major part of it. But of course the person, the personality should also be himself and go in with a purpose. Not prepared to listen to anybody or group, just work. You won't go around and see nobody other than his tribes. That is not good. That's not good.
If you're just joining us, our guest on today's edition of Rumbles is Senator Dalhatu Sarki Tafida, former Majority Leader and former Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The PDP came on board. It was an excellent party. It fumbled a lot of corruption, a lot of... there was no internal democracy. I got my primary to contest for the third term in my state, but the party took my ticket and gave it to the then governor of Kaduna State. There was a lot of corruption. I left the party. Though I could see Buhari is beginning to check them, but I'm not very sure if that will succeed. They left for too long. Most of the PDP people are not so good. Many are leaving, hundreds if not thousands of PDP people are leaving. The governor, the only governor in the southwest, Ekiti, when he finishes, APC may win. But not that I want PDP to disintegrate, no.
You're welcome back. It's still Rumbles on Galaxy Television, and I guess it's still Senator Dalhatu Sarki Tafida, former Majority Leader in the Senate and also a former Nigerian High Commissioner. He's also a founding member of the PDP and also a senator who represented Kaduna North constituency of Kaduna State. So, Senator Tafida, let me ask you to share with us your thoughts on the call for restructuring of this country as a solution to the many challenges confronting us.
To know the meaning of restructuring, myself, I don't understand the meaning of restructuring. But I came to understand one or two things. Whenever somebody from the South talks of restructuring, begin to wonder, what does he really mean? This word restructuring has come more from the Southwest than from any other part of Nigeria. Of recent, like I said before, we're beginning to hear some restructuring on the Southeast. Now, we hardly had this idea of restructuring when somebody from the South is a leader, is a president or a head of state. So I'm trying to give the idea of restructuring to myself because I really don't know. So I came to believe that when people talk of restructuring, they either want Nigeria to come and have either a country with a federal, a national government, no state government, and only local government, or a country with fewer states, federal government that will everybody is allowed to do whatever he likes. I don't know really. I don't know the meaning of that. Of recent, even the Northerners have come to talk of restructuring too. They are also beginning to talk of restructuring. Restructuring to them, to a Northerner, is break the country into whatever pieces you want. Those who want to be with you, they come together. Those who don't want to be with you, go your own way. If Nigerians believe that is good for us, I don't think. But I am firmly a believer of a federation, a government with states that are more or less autonomous. They have their own money. They spend their own money without interruption. And they have also their own local government which they supervise. That is what I believe in. I also believe that the local governments we have should be stronger than they are now, in such a way that they have more money, less stealing. If you have a local government that are strong with people who are decent, who don't steal, they perform, then we see Nigeria developing faster than we see. But when we talk of restructuring, we begin to see that while they talk of restructuring, they still have, the leaders are watching, the governors in those areas are doing what they like. The people there never call them to order. And they only talk of the federal. So I begin to wonder what restructuring means. When you want to restructure, make sure the money you get, even in a structured country, you make use of it. Make sure that those who are in authority make use of the money given to them or they get, not to embark on useless projects on themselves, their family also. If you do that, then you can talk of restructuring. Just like the Niger Delta issue. The government has bent over backwards and provided 3 avenues whereby they would get more money, more development. They have given 13% derivation. They have created a Ministry of Niger Delta, and they have also created the NDDC. Now, all these things are to pacify the area, but each time you go there, you see nothing. The people in the area don't talk about the money budgeted for those people, the government there, the NDDC and the ministry. They don't talk. They talk of federal. Even if you give them the way it is, even if you give them the whole public funds from federal government, it will be the same. It will be the same. We should be able to call our people that we see daily in authority to account before we talk of restructuring. To me, otherwise we have no basis of calling restructuring when we can't call the people directly we see every day, misusing the resources meant to be for our development, and we call of restructuring. We should do that. We should make sure, in the case of Niger Delta, the ministry is called to order. They do what they are supposed to do with the money allocated every year. The NDDC is also called to account for the money they are given to perform there in those 10, 11 states. And of course the governors should also be called to account for the 13% they are given extra. Otherwise, I think we are not fair to ourselves.
Let's look at the National Assembly for a few minutes. And you were a two-term senator.
Very much.
Meaning you were there for 8 years, between
True.
1999 and 2007.
Yes.
Right. How do you defend the humongous amount of money budgeted for that arm of government when there appears to be little to show for it?
You mean what the amount of money given to the National Assembly,
Exactly.
or they give, or we gave ourselves to? You go back to the record. Go back to the record. Go back to the record. If you are a research student, go back to 1999 to 2003. You won't find this issue of consortium project, these billions of them.
There was the issue of furniture allowance in your
No, listen, furniture allowance, what is fair? We had houses. The houses were not furnished. We had to furnish, so it was fair. That's 1999 to 2003. 2003 to 2007. That was one issue of money came in. We began to have little allowances here and there. The amount of money a senator was earning then 2003 to 2007 didn't cause any eyebrow. I felt it was a bit on the high side at that time. But if you compare it with what is happening now, I'm sure you think we were saints those 8 years. The first year I was earning 14,500 naira. 14,500 naira. That was what I was earning. And we complained though. We complained. We reached out to revenue mobilization. They came, we sat down with them to see how things would improve. It improved, but there is a limit to what they could do. But really, if you say it's on the high side now, I agree with you.
But then?
It wasn't.
Your furniture allowance then was 5 million naira.
So 5 million naira, what is 5 million naira?
That's a lot of
furniture
money.
Allowance for 4 years.
That's a lot of money.
No, it wasn't. Furniture allowance for 4 years for a senator who had, in my own case, I had 6 members of the House of Representatives from my zone. And they were also getting nearly as much as that. We didn't cry. 5 million now is chicken feed.
Then it was a lot of money.
Well, if you say so, but it wasn't a lot of money, 5 million for a senator, even at that time.
5 million will build classes in your constituency.
Yeah, but will I not be entitled to furniture allowance? When ministers were getting furniture allowance, people not elected, appointed, will I not be entitled to that? Or is it only we who are supposed to be for the people who came into the National Assembly through you people that will not have anything to to see that at least we are considered as human beings. 5 million was small money. If you compare it to a minister who had large houses, look at them there, on top of a hill there and so on. Look at the furniture. Is it 5 million? We look at the barrack. We were living in a barrack.
What is the justification for a senator, for a minister, for officials of government getting so much money while their constituents are living in poverty?
When you talk of, you are talking of senators, but you don't talk, nobody talks of a minister. That's the problem. Because we don't award contract. Pardon?
I said, let's focus on senator.
Yeah, so that's why I said, for you to accuse a senator, you must, I must argue for comparison to see that you have not.
Let's not compare. Let us look at this: a sitting senator and his constituent. A sitting senator living lavishly, his constituent living in poverty.
It's not lavish at all. 5 million. Think, even at that time, 5 million for furniture for 4 years.